So it's Thursday night. I've just finished a work call, and there's someone banging on my apartment door. So I get up, I go look through the peephole, and it's my neighbor, Paula. And it's usually not great for me when Paula is knocking on my door. Paula and her husband, Michael, live 2 doors down from me. They're in their 70s. Paula is, just picture in your mind a crazy white lady. And you know what Paula looks like. And Michael is a stoner, an old guy stoner, and he talks kind of like this man all the time. And they are our neighbors. And Paula, she often likes to stand outside my apartment door and have a full conversation with my dog for 10 minutes while he just barks at her in response. Michael, I once came in from walking the dog, and Michael got in the elevator as I was leaving it. And so I went inside my apartment, fed the dog, spent 10 minutes getting ready to go out, and then when I went back out there and pressed the button to the elevator, he was still standing in there. And he was, man, I forgot to press the button. So that's Paula and Michael. Once, totally unbidden, Michael remarked to me, "You know, it doesn't seem like it now, but Paula was a beautiful girl once, but now she's all fucked up." That's a direct quote. So Paula is here. She's knocking on my door. The last time Paula knocked on my door, she had one of her coats with her, which she insisted that I try on, which for some reason I did. And afterwards, she told me it looked great on me. And I said, "Thank you." And she said, "That'll be $50. When I explained that I wasn't really in the market for a new coat, she said, "Well, why'd you try it on then?" Another time she knocked on the door and she told me that Michael wasn't home and she needed someone to rub cream on her head. And I couldn't think of an excuse fast enough, so I did. I rubbed the cream on her head. And there was one other time she knocked on the door to let us know that she had thrown our welcome mat down the garbage chute and replaced it with one that she preferred. So this is just a selection, a few examples of the many times when Paula has knocked on our door. And so I know it's not going to be great, but I also know I have to open the door because pretending you're not home, it doesn't work. Somehow she knows, and Paula holds a grudge. She is still furious at my husband, Justin, for not getting her tickets to see Bruce Springsteen from his job at Ticketmaster. No matter how many times I try to explain to her that Justin does not and has never worked at Ticketmaster, she will not accept this explanation. So I open the door, and Paula says, "Are you coming to the building meeting?" And I had forgotten that we had a building meeting that night. We live in a rent-stabilized building, which means that basically if something breaks, it is never fixed. It's essentially what that means. And our trash compactor has been broken for some time. And so Paula, as she often does, has called a building meeting to discuss this. I have lived in this building for more than 10 years, and I'm kind of used to it at this point. 2 years ago, I called the super and asked him to fix a drawer in my kitchen. And to this very day, that drawer is still sitting on a chair in my kitchen. So I didn't have a lot of high hopes. But then Paula, she starts yelling at me. She starts saying, like, "Don't you care about this building? Don't you know nothing's going to change if we don't all band together?" And I'm just like, okay, all right, I'll get my keys. Because the truth is, I'm a little bit afraid of Paula. First, just in terms of her being a threat to my physical safety, potentially. I looked out the peephole of my door once, and I saw Paula, after some commotion, I saw her being handcuffed by a police officer. This event was never explained to me, and I never felt the need to inquire. And also, I'm also a little bit afraid because I feel like if my husband, Justin, and I live in this building, in this city for long enough, we could become Michael and Paula. So it's for these reasons that I decide to go to the meeting. So I go out and I go down the elevator with Paula, and she says, I knocked on 4A's door, and he didn't answer. 4A is one of the newer tenants. He's the kind who wears business suits and communicates with his neighbors only in the form of anonymous notes. He has left several of these on my door in regards to my dog, and he always signs them from all of your neighbors, as if I'm going to believe that the people I've lived with for 12 years have collectively banded together to write this note to me together, instead of it being from the guy who moved in around the time the note started. So I look at Paula, I say, figures, the guy's an asshole, and she chuckles, and I feel good about being one of the good neighbors for a few minutes. So we go down to this meeting, and there's about 10 people there in the lobby, which is really just the hallway where the mailboxes are. And a lot of them are the neighbors that I know well. There's the woman whose dog is named Lucky, the woman whose dog is named Precious, the woman whose dog is named Kramer, the woman who's afraid of dogs. Those are the ones I know well. And then there's some other folks that I don't know too well. And immediately it's chaos, and everybody's yelling, and I'm not really sure if they're yelling at each other or because they're angry at management or both. And they're saying, oh, the trash compactor's been broken for so long. Oh, no, the real problem is the front door is broken. Oh, the real problem is the floors haven't been cleaned in months. And the chaos is briefly interrupted when one of the neighbor's grown-up sons walks through the lobby with his mother's recycling, and we all have to take a minute and applaud because he just passed his firefighter training. And then the chaos resumes after that, and everybody is yelling. And then finally, everyone decides that Paula is going to be our leader for the very compelling reason that she is the only one who wants to be. And we are going to go with Paula's plan, which entails all of us agreeing to call the management company every morning until the trash compactor is fixed. And so I go back to my apartment thinking, well, that was a waste of time. Nothing's ever going to happen. Why do we put Paula in charge? This is bonkers. And I forget about it, and I don't even remember that I was supposed to call the management company every morning until a few days later when the trash compactor is fixed. A few months later, I'm riding the elevator. I'm in the elevator with my husband and our newborn baby, Maggie, in a stroller. And Michael gets in the elevator, and he is shocked to find that we have a baby, despite the fact that I spoke to him many times while I was very obviously pregnant. But then he says something that shocks us. He tells us that a few days ago, Paula passed away after a long illness, and I had no idea that she was sick. And he says, I didn't think I would miss her this much, man. And I feel really kind of surprisingly sad about that. And after Paula passed, the floors are never mopped. A dead rat sits on the front step for 3 days without anyone doing anything about it. But no building meetings are called. And Michael just kind of shuffles around the building like a zombie. There's nobody. I actually kind of miss her talking to my dog through the door. Michael starts eating a lot of cheeseburgers, and I know this because whatever app he's using to order Shake Shack and Five Guys, he accidentally put our apartment number instead of his in. So they keep delivering it to us, and they press the buzzer, and our dog barks, and our baby wakes up, and it's fine. It's fine. When we take it to him, he goes, "Oh, hey, thanks, man. How much do I owe you?" And we have to explain to him that he already paid for it. He, in fact, ordered it. But the last time I saw Michael, he was still looking downcast, still looking more disheveled than ever. And he said to us, I don't think I'll ever get married again. I think Paula was the one. And I thought, that's really beautiful. This whole time, I've really thought of Michael and Paula as kind of like the crazy couple in the building, of like the punchline to this joke about what I'm afraid my husband and I will become if we stay in New York long enough. But really, like, the contributions that she made to this building and to this community were real, and her relationship with Michael was real. And I'm starting to like tear up a little bit. And then Michael says, "Yeah, I'll probably just get some hookers in." I just hope he gives them the correct apartment number. Thank you.
Erin Barker, everybody.